Hello. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. Get comfortable. Get your waters, teas, coffees. We'll get started in just a moment.
Hey Alexa, do you want to just change your name also?
Oh, did it switch back?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
my name. So everyone's all those bad things that you're saying to everybody,
dang it.
that's not me. I know how these things operate.
Oh, man. Thank
I'm
you.
sneaking in. I'm sneaking in. I was putting in the chat is before we get started, I do a ton of webinars, and today I'm just gonna hide out in the background because this is some good, I'm not gonna say beep, good stuff. Meaning, you know, but private mortgages and having Jeff Watson, and we'll have a proper introduction for him, is phenomenal. So be ready. You want to get into the private mortgage world, cash flow, sit your butt down, pay attention, all the above.
Yes, this is not just a local expert. This is a national expert here. This is this is who the National RIA trusts in this
Yeah,
topic. So
yeah, and you
we're
don't
in
want
good
a
hands.
personal God forbid you get a personal letter exactly from Jeff. That's not good. That's from National RIA saying you're in trouble. We got our own. We have our own live compliance officer. That's why Jeff's on board to make sure I'm doing everything on the up and up.
That's right.
So you guys better be in your best behavior. Don't give out any secrets and tell Jeff what I've been up to.
No comment. No comment.
No comment. That's
And
exactly what I'm saying. No comment, guys. Keep it clean.
oh
Turn it.
goodness gracious, you guys, you guys. Well, welcome everyone. Good evening. We're gonna lock in. We're gonna get focused now. But thank you guys all for coming on to our monthly meeting for March tonight. This is BPM RIA. I'm Alexa, COO at BPM RIA, Broward, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade Real Estate Investors Association, your only local and approved chapter here in South Florida that is in compliance and partnered with the National Real Estate Investors Association. And we have a great class for you guys tonight. We have Jeff Watson in the virtual building. We're going to be talking about cash flow mastery, harnessing the power of private mortgage notes. Super exciting. So I'm going to get us started on a really great note. You can see this QR code at the top of your screen. Make sure you're looking at the screen, looking at the chat. I'll be popping helpful links and showing you guys some cool stuff just to get us started. And then we are going to keep rocking and rolling with Jeff in just a moment. But just to get us started on a super positive note, you guys know I always got to make it fun. We always have to have something special for you all. So go ahead and text the word membership to 954-800-6961 for a chance to win our raffle tonight, which is a 1-year membership to BPM RIA. That is a $295 value. Details will be in the chat. Details are on the screen right now, and I will announce the winner at the very, 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 very end of today's session. So good luck to you all, and we'll see who gets paid to attend our webinar tonight. Always got to make it fun for you guys. So easy way to keep up with our events here at BPM RIA. Go ahead and text BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, to our event line, which is 954-800-6961. And once again, our event line. So don't be calling this number. Don't call me trying to get to me on this number. This is literally just for our upcoming events, notifications, raffles, things of that nature. So details on the screen, details in the chat, and I'll be reminding you guys throughout the session tonight to go ahead and text on in, and make sure you scan that QR code on the top of the screen as well to book your free call with us. So very, very important dates here. May 2nd and May 3rd is our 2-day boot camp regarding wholesaling, flipping, and rehabbing. If you're looking to wholesale, flip, or rehab in South Florida or in Florida in general, you are going to want to do this training. And you guys, we put up a money back guarantee for you all. So go ahead and check that link in the chat. Check out the topics we cover. We're going to leverage AI. We're going to talk about some creative financing hacks. And we put a money back guarantee for you all. After the first day, if this is not your cup of tea, we will give you your money back. So go ahead and check that one out. Link is in the chat. And you can always go to bpmquickstart.com for those details. All right, members, you guys know you get all the goodies. You get that National RIA benefit package, all of those discounts to Home Depot, property insurance, self-directed IRA, retirement, all this stuff, you guys, landlord tools, Avis budget, all that good stuff. So make sure you get your membership today, and you will want to get this now because we have our upcoming quarterly networking meeting coming up on April 1st at Nova Southeastern University. We only do this on a quarterly basis. You guys want to get locked in. You're going to get your free ticket for the networking event, and your guests will come in for half price, only $10. You'll get special pricing on those workshops that we offer with our national speakers. So you're going to want to get your membership as soon as possible, not the day of the quarterly event. So go ahead and get that ahead of time. Start accessing your benefits and get locked in, guys. You guys will have access to our member directory, data portal, all that good stuff. So get the membership, and link is in the chat for you all, and you guys can get that right on our website as well. So last but very not least, one-on-one coaching and mentoring here at BPM RIA. Some of you may know that we offer one-on-one coaching, wholesaling, and rehabbing properties here in South Florida, where we put up 100% of the money for our students' deals and split the profit 50-50. I highly encourage you book a discovery call. I popped the link in the chat. I have the QR code up here. Go ahead and send me an email. My details are in the chat as well. We want to get connected with you and see if our program is a good fit for you. So go ahead and book that free discovery call so I can get you more details. When it comes to funding your education, funding that tuition, we have a third-party funding available. You want to leverage everything possible, go right ahead. Scan that QR code you see on the screen. It will be a soft credit pull, 0% interest rate, and you will get that response within 24 hours if you are eligible for the third-party funding to go ahead and fund your tuition for the coaching or whatever it is that you'd like. So thank you guys so much always for showing up, for being here on time, for locking in, and giving your utmost attention to our speaker tonight. I always want to take a moment to thank all of our vendor partners who make all these incredible events possible. They are located on our website. I popped that link in the chat for you guys. Always want to take a moment to thank National RIA for all of the incredible things that they offer us, all of the tools, all of the resources, all that incredible information and knowledge. They will be doing a really awesome event. I want to say it's next week on Zoom, and I'll make sure I get that out to you guys. They're going to be doing a virtual Capitol on the Hill. So I'll be sure to email each and every one of you the link. Well, our members, of course. The members will get an email from me regarding that incredible event that they're doing next week. And you will be able to join live on Zoom. So I highly encourage that you guys attend that event, I'll make sure you get that email. And just to let everybody know, we are recording tonight's session. We will post it on our YouTube channel. So make sure if you have to leave early for whatever reason, make sure you get that thank you email that I'll be sending to you. It'll have some really, really important links there for you and how to work with Jeff and how to learn from Jeff. And of course, share the replay with somebody that you know who would love to see this and learn from Jeff as well. But pretty much, you guys, I met Jeff on the cruise. I'll be honest. We met on the cruise, but we also work. I promise you guys, we work too. The cruise is serious business. It is a conference on the cruise, and if you're wondering what cruise I'm talking about, it's the National RIA Conference Cruise. Specifically, if you go to, I want to say nationalriacruise.com, you'll get all the details for when their next one is coming up. But they host this every winter, pretty much, and it's incredible. So when I heard Jeff speak on the cruise, Anish was there too. He was like, we gotta get this guy. We gotta get this guy in here. So I'm really grateful and honored to have him in here. You guys, Jeff is, just to kind of give you a little background information on Jeff. He is a seasoned litigation attorney with a 2-decade triumph in law, also a distinguished authority in note investing, having unlocked the doors to passive income and wealth building for countless individuals across the nation. With a career built on meticulous legal experience and innovative real estate strategies, Jeff's collaboration with Note School, if you guys have heard of it, I'm sure you have, has revolutionized the way investors achieve their financial autonomy. Today, he stands virtually before us, not just as an educator, but as an architect of success, ready to guide you through the nuanced world of private mortgage notes. So, with that being said, please be prepared to be inspired, enlightened, and propelled towards your financial goals. And welcome, Jeff. Yay.
Oh, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, wow. What a kind and generous and warm introduction and welcome. It is great to be here. I was thinking back to the cruise where you and I met, and I have to tell you, that had to be one of the happiest cruises in my life because I was doing back-to-back cruises. I had to suffer through back-to-back cruises. Oh, I know.
Dang, that must have been tough.
It was so brutal. So brutal. Same ship, back-to-back cruises. It was so brutal. But anyhow, it just, that was, and I'm going to tell you something, folks. Just before I dive in, let me just say this. I don't know about you, but I got into real estate because I wanted money to show up on a consistent basis without working hard for it. Because I wanted the peace and freedom that money would give to me. I wanted what I now call my manana lifestyle, which is if I don't want to do it now, I'll do it later. When do I want to deal with it? Not now, later is kind of what I mean by that, because I have the peace and freedom to do that. And so I could go take 2 weeks and be on a cruise. Yes, I had to work a little bit on the one National RIA cruise, no big deal, whatever. But yeah, that's why we got into real estate, right? I mean, I don't know anybody got into real estate because they wanted to grind 90 hours a week. Okay, I just don't know. So but I can tell you, I was down the wrong path. And let me just get into my slides before I go too far, too fast. Okay, let me just get into these slides. We got to figure out how to do this. We got to get this there we go. Okay, got to get this thing going because I don't know about you, but I got into real estate because I was tired of swapping hours for dollars as a litigation attorney. I was billing by the hour. Yeah, some of the stuff was contingent fee, but I didn't get to take home the contingent fee. I got paid as an employee. Okay, so yeah. So I knew I needed to do something different, and I'll get into what I had to do, but I got to first do this, which is to tell you that this session is intended to be educational in nature. It does not provide legal, financial, business, or tax advice, just education. And while this session does showcase a couple of individuals who've had success applying their education, your actual results will depend completely upon the skills, effort, time, and dedication of what each individual puts into their own efforts and their own business. So with that being said, let's just ask this. We've kind of got two options here, okay? When we look at this stuff, we kind of got two options. We can kind of like listen with one ear and multitask. And maybe if it's interesting, I'll tune in, but you know, I can't, I kind of lost it already. So why don't we avoid that? Why don't we just kind of lock in? Because Alexa, I heard you use that phrase few times, and I really appreciate that phrase because I want people to lock in. So if you're not using your phone to pay attention to me, put your phone away, put it on silent, put it away. It will be there, I promise, in about 60, 70 minutes. It'll be there. Nothing's going to go crazy on you, all right? How about this? Get out the ability to take notes. I still, yes, I know I'm a dinosaur. I still take notes with a pad and paper. Okay, a pen and paper. I still take notes that way. I'm a dinosaur. But that's what I'm willing to do. And if you've got a question, a very specific question about something that's in one of the slides, then go ahead, stick it in the Q&A. And you know, don't put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A, and we'll do that. Okay. So just I really need to know who can do this. Can you do this or not? Give me an answer, yes or no. Can you do it or not? Can you do it or not? Will you engage, or are we going to kind of just keep kind of guessing? Okay. What are we going to do here? We're going to engage. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we got to look at this thing, and I want to know this. If you could add predictable monthly money without losing your life, would you do it? Would you do it? If your answer to that is yes, well, then the next 80 or so minutes, 70, 80 minutes or so that we're going to be together is exactly what you need. So let's just talk about this, because the next thing we've got is we got to figure out, what are we going to do? Are we going to keep guessing on how to figure out how to do deals the right way, how to increase our monthly consistent cash flow, our consistent monthly cash flow? Or are we going to keep guessing at it and kind of, well, you know, I'm going to use Claude on this. I'll try Chat GPT here. I'll Google this over here. I'll look it on YouTube University. I'll find something on Instagram or TikTok, and I'll kind of just cobble it all together with baling wire, duct tape, and bubble gum and see if it all works. Or do you want to learn the system? Do you want to learn the system that's got decades and decades of experience built into it? Do you want to learn from your mistakes, or do you want to learn from somebody else's mistakes? Do you want to stand on the shoulders of giants, or do you want to have life beat you down every now and then because you just didn't know something that you could have learned if you'd learned the system? So let's just get into this, all right? So I'm going to give you three things that I want you to ask this question. Yes or no? Does predictable monthly income give me freedom? For me, it certainly does. Can I start small and stack up? Absolutely. I did it myself. Can one note deal change everything in my business? Absolutely can. Seen it, done it, bought the t-shirt, and figured it all out. Yep, I know it works. So I'm going to ask you, for you, does predictable monthly income give you freedom? Or does more predictable monthly income give you more freedom? How many of you agree that we can all start small and stack up? And then how many of us can agree that one note deal can change everything? That's what I thought. Great. Let me give you a little bit about me. I've already had some very kind things said about me that are actually mostly true, so that's great. Appreciate that. There's a little bit of humor there. That's a little bit of lawyer humor there, okay? I'm both a real estate and note attorney for 30 plus years now, coming up on my 35th year of practicing law. I have either seen or done almost every do-it-yourself, trial by error, do it on the cheap mistake a real estate investor can make. I'm a note school speaker and investor, and I enjoy helping people build monthly predictable income. I enjoy helping people build monthly predictable income because that is what I'm doing in my business. It's all about, how am I driving my consistent monthly income? How much money shows up in my bank account without me having to put in a lot of work and effort to get it? Oh, I have to do some things. I have to be diligent. I have to be a good steward of the resources and assets, the investments that God's given me. I got to be a steward. I got to manage it. I got to be diligent. Proverbs tells me to do that. But I'm talking about, I don't have to get up and go to work 60, 80 hours a week. I don't have to grind at it like so many people think it's such a badge of honor to grind 80, 90 hours a week in the real estate space. Man, I'm going to tell you, the more I think and the less I do, the more money I make. All right. So this picture here kind of encapsulates what my life was like for a period of time. I became a nationally recognized short sale expert. And for those of you that don't know what a short sale is, good for you. I'm grateful that you never learned that traumatic experience. But back in 2008, when all of Florida and the rest of the United States of America hit the skids, y'all were about 3 years behind Cleveland, Ohio, where I was. Cleveland, Ohio hit the skids in 2005. So I started investing in 1994. 11 years later, I started focusing on short sales. And short sales is where you ask the bank, you argue with the bank to get a discount on the debt so that you can buy the house because the house isn't worth all the debt that's on it. So you're like that little orphan boy in this movie, and you're saying, please, sir, can I have a little bit more of a discount? Can I have a little more porridge? And that was the mindset I had when I was sitting in a room in Denver, Colorado, at a hotel near the airport in Denver, Colorado. I can picture that room clearly. There was a guy in the front of the room that I knew him. I didn't know him well, but I knew him. It was Eddie Speed, guy that runs Note School. And he was talking with his unique twang, his unique Texan, Mississippi twang. And I had one of those epiphany moments in my life. I've had 3 or 4 of them sitting in real estate seminars, and this was one of them where I realized instead of being the orphan boy begging for the discount from the bank, I could be the guy raising the capital and buying the defaulted mortgage, and then I'm the bank. I learned there was incredible power in owning or in making or in handling the paper. There's more power in the paper than there is in the dirt, bricks, and sticks. If you don't write that down right now, there is more power in the paper than there is in the dirt, bricks, and sticks. Some of the wealthiest clients that I represent, men that move multiple millions of dollars from one IRA account to another IRA account, you know what they all have in common? They own a lot of paper. They own a lot of mortgages. They own a lot of seller finance transactions. That's what they're into. Okay. So I had this moment where I was like, I can continue being this workaholic, doing short sales, being this nationally respected guru on short sales, where the phone's glued to my ear. I'm missing all of my kids' moments, but I needed the predictable income from notes because short sales were very unpredictable. Because sometimes the bank would kill the deal at the last minute. There were deals that we worked on for months, and we would just be short, just at the closing table, and all of a sudden the bank would change its mind and not agree. Or they wouldn't fax over the last document we needed, and then it would go to foreclosure. I needed predictable income. I did not want the erratic roller coaster of income. So just out of curiosity, if go ahead and put it in the chat, put it in the chat right now. How many of you want predictable income and how many of you want erratic income? Either predictable or erratic. Which do you want? Tell me what you want, predictable or erratic? Okay, Walter, predictable, got it. Who else? Todd, yes. Alexa, yes. Predictable, okay. All right, Patricia, yes. Predictable, predictable. It's easier to budget, isn't it, Carl, right? It's much easier to budget off of predictable income. Excellent, excellent. Thank you for everybody for participating. I really appreciate that. So I had to make some changes. Okay, so I had to get some stuff done. So I'm just kind of curious. I'd like to know who here is in the virtual room. There's a number of us in the room. I'd just like to know. I want you to just, if this is you, just say me. And believe me, you're welcome to be here. You're brand new. You're brand new. You're trying to think about, is real estate investing really for me? I'm kind of sort of thinking about fixing maybe to kind of get ready to do a little bit of investing. If that's you, go ahead and type in me. Just say so in the chat. Brand new. Okay, Walter, wonderful. Patricia, Louis, or Luis? Yeah, perfect. Okay, great, great. Now, Joshua, wonderful. How many of you are like me? You're a tired landlord. I've been a landlord since January of 1994. Since January of 94. Older than my kids, all but only one of my kids is older than some of my rental property, than I've long rental properties. I'm serious. My kids grew up around rental properties. How many of you? Okay, yep. Some of us are just a tired landlord. I got it. Yep. I'm looking at every one of my rental properties right now, making some serious decisions, and I'm going to walk you through the analysis that I'm doing on my rental properties. I'm going to show you what I'm doing right now as an investor. Okay. And the last question is, how many of you are deal hustlers? If you're a deal hustler, just put deal in the chat. Are you a deal hustler? You're a fix and flipper. You're a wholesaler. You do assignments. You do bird dogging, whatever it is. Just tell me. Just go ahead and put deal maker in there. Or put deal. I'm sorry, deal. Just use the word deal. Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. Todd, deal. Patricia, deal. Okay. So some of you guys are brand new and you're looking to do deals. So some of you guys are probably in the, thinking about doing wholesaling, beginning to do some fix and flips and so on. Okay. And so you're recognizing how brutal the market is in Florida right now. Okay. There are some parts of Florida where the market is absolutely brutal. Starting to see a little bit of it come back in other areas. Starting to see some of the areas still pretty soft. I mean, let's just face it. Condos are a challenge right now. Condos are a challenge right now. Some of the single family homes that we're seeing come back, boy, they've come back big time. Those on the water, man, they're back and going. Stuff inland that flooded, that's not been rehabbed, it's just dying. It's sitting there dying, just waiting for somebody that's going to finally take on the task. So I get you. All right, so let's keep moving here. There's a QR code I popped on the screen right off the bat because some of you are going to be like, well, Jeff, I'm not going to be here for the whole call, but I really want to know more about what's going on. So here's a no commitment opportunity to learn a lot more about notes. Just grab this QR code, scan it, and then we can take it forward from there. No commitment whatsoever on this. Just, you gotta give us an email address, but that's about it. Okay. If you're on your phone, you're like, well, how do I scan the QR code? If I'm on my phone, screenshot it, come back, email it, then so on. Okay. That's what I would do. All right. So let's go on. So here's the question I have for you. If predictable income would change your life, then go ahead and say me in the chat. Say yes or say me. If predictable income would change your life, put it me in the chat. Okay. If you're not putting me in the chat, that means one of two things. Either you're not paying attention to me or you already have more than you need, more than you want. Which is it? Okay. If you got more than you need, just say so. More, then okay, I appreciate that. No one's done that yet. Okay, great. Predictable income. If it changed your life, go ahead and put me in the chat. Okay, great. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So let's get moving here. Tonight we're going to focus on one thing. The predictable income version of real estate. The predictable income version of real estate. We're not going to talk about the speculation. I'm not going to talk about the if come maybe potentials. I'm going to talk about the regular, consistent, predictable income. So you wanted predictable monthly money. I want predictable monthly money. So let's dig into this thing. Because I've got to tell you how I started. I thought that I got predictable monthly income by owning rental properties. Buy them right, manage them well. They cash flow. Over time, the cash flow goes up. Over time, the cash flow goes up. And you know what? From the 90s, that worked okay. Razor thin cash flow because of how I was buying them, because I had so little down. Razor thin cash flow, but they were cash flowing. Through the first 10 years of this century, things were good. Then as we got through into the 2008 thing, boy, did I have a problem. I don't know about you guys, but values went way down and tenants stopped paying. It was a challenge. And then we came out of it, we survived, and then the shift, and then so on. So let's just keep going through this, okay? I'm going to tell you that so many of the ways that we've been taught to do real estate by fix and flip and wholesale and landlord and buy and hold, that brings a lot of stress. And sometimes the income is not nearly what we think it is, because when we get done subtracting out all the income, all the expenses from the income, and then the tax man has his way with us, there's not much left. And it's hard to build a cushion. It's hard to have consistency. Yeah, I know some people, they bought all their rental properties in the late 80s, early 90s, and they had a good job and they paid it all down and they've not done anything with it. Great. You're wonderful. I got some stuff that I bought, mid 90s. We're doing good. It's all paid off. I'm doing great. No complaints. I got some stuff I've bought in the last 6 years, 7 years. I'm looking at it real carefully. I've got some stuff I bought in the last couple of years. I'm looking at it even more carefully. And we're going to walk you through what I'm doing, okay? Because I'm just going to say that things are different. How they are in the first quarter of 2026 is a lot like how they were in 2025, and it's very different than how it was in 2018. 2018, the market was going up and up. People thought it was getting a little frothy, and they had no idea how much more was coming. So let's just dig into this thing. So a lot of you have probably heard about the 1% rule. The 1% rule when it comes to buying residential real estate as a landlord. You want the monthly rent to be 1% of the purchase price. And then there's sometimes that we buy a property where the monthly rent is more than 1% of the purchase price. And next thing you know, you're doing this. You're patting yourself on the back, self-congratulating yourself. Yeah, great job. We're crushing it. Okay, great. The 1% rule, man, it's been around a long, long time. I'm going to tell you, there's only two markets I know right now where you can buy houses consistently according to the 1% rule. Gary, Indiana, and Pontiac, Michigan. Gary, Indiana, and Pontiac, Michigan are the only two areas I know right now where I can consistently hit the monthly income or the 1% monthly rule. There's some other areas where I can hit it, but the jobs aren't there. There's parts of Ohio, but I can't do it job-wise, okay? So anyhow. So now let's talk about the 50% rule in real estate, okay? This rule is changing. We used to, for a long time, have a 40, then it crept to 50, and now it's creeping to 55, sometimes a little bit higher, 50% rule, that half of your gross rent goes to expenses. It goes to taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, and savings for future improvements, what we call reserves. That roof's going to wear out. That HVAC is going to need to be replaced. Hey, listen, rental properties in Florida take a beating. Storms are hard on them. Roofs get torn off. HVACs go out. They don't make them like they used to. They want you to replace the whole system, not fix it. So you got to have a stockpile for this. I mean, hot water tanks. If you priced them putting in a new hot water tank in the last couple of years, it's outrageous. It's outrageous compared to when I used to do them myself. Okay. So now it's more than 50% of my gross rent goes to expenses. And I'm talking just taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, reserves, lawn mowing, snow plowing. Yeah, I know snow plowing because I have stuff up where it snows. You know, I got some other, other things you've got to do. So it's killing me. And that's before I got to do my debt service. And that's before they're trying to put any money in my own pocket. So it's really getting to be a challenge. So this is what I'm looking at every one of my properties right now going, what do I do about this? How do I address this situation? So let me walk you through who now makes more money on rentals. And when I sit down and I run the numbers, I realize I'm no longer the guy making the most money. Somebody else is making more money than I am on my rental properties. And I don't like that. That is not a fun thing. The landlord, if they're doing well on a property with moderate debt, 60, 65% LTV, they bought it right, they're a good manager, they might be making a 4% annualized rate of money on might be making 4% a year on their money. They might be making 4% a year on their money cash flow wise. What's the bank making? 6.5, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. So which is better? You want to make 4% on your money or you want to make 6.5% on your money? I don't know about you, but I would like to make more than 6. And if I can make more than 6 as a lender, I'm really getting interested. So we'll talk about that. So let's talk about why do people love being the bank? And more importantly, why is Jeff Watson shifting a significant part of his portfolio to where he's now becoming the bank instead of the owner? Well, with rent houses, I've got stress. Okay. I get tenants that text me about handymen that don't show up. I get phone calls. I still see bills. I've got more risk. That's why I use LLCs and extra insurance and trust and all other things to try and help manage the risk. I've got less cash flow. I don't know about if you've noticed or not, but my taxes and insurance are going up and up and up. If you're in Florida and you've not noticed that taxes and insurance are going up, I don't know where you've been. Okay. And it's really eating into the cushion that I'm trying to build on my properties. I'm having a hard time building the cushion on a couple of my properties. I seem to be stuck at a certain dollar amount. I keep trying to push that cushion up and it just sometimes pulls it back down. On a note deal, particularly when I'm in a first position lien on it, where I'm first in line behind the tax man on the bill, on the building, with a lien against the house, I've got less stress. HVAC goes out, they don't call the bank, they call the owner. Roof has a leak, they don't call the bank, they call the owner. There's less risk. Tenant trips and falls at the property, they don't sue Truist, they don't sue Wells Fargo, they don't sue Bank of America. They sue the owner, they sue the property manager. There's more cash flow. Why? Because I'm not paying taxes and insurance anymore. I'm not worrying about maintenance, repairs, and reserves. And I can build a cushion because I can put the cushion into the deal at the beginning of the deal rather than hoping I can make the cushion through the deal. Did you hear what I said there? When I do the note deal the right way, I build the cushion in at the beginning of the deal. rather than trying to build the cushion by operating the property correctly as a landlord. So seller financing, where I become the bank, is where I'm headed. Okay? So let's just talk about the 3x rate of return framework here. I want you to just look at something. Let's just say you found a spot, and there's a couple of markets around where we can find rental houses that sometimes we can get them for about $250,000. Okay? And we'll probably net about $900 a month in rent because that house will probably rent for $1,800 a month. That's just a kind of a national number. That's not a specific Florida number. There's some places right here in St. Pete, where I am, that I can get for less than $250,000, and they'll rent. I think these numbers would work in that area. Those numbers will work in Cleveland, Ohio, where I've got some other rentals and so on. Okay. Or I can have a $250,000 first mortgage on a seller finance property, and I'm collecting a payment of principal and a lot of interest. Did you hear me say a lot of interest at $2,700 a month? Got a question for you. Do you want $900 a month, or do you want $2,700 a month, particularly when a lot of it's interest, which, by the way, is taxed the same level and same way that rent is taxed? So don't try and play the tax game there. Okay? And if you've ever looked at an amortization table, you know that in the first 5-7 years of a loan, or a 30-year loan, most everything that's paid to the lender is interest. So I'm looking at this going, okay, let's see. The same amount of capital is invested, but I'm getting 3 times the rate of return over here, and I don't have any maintenance calls. I don't have any lawsuit risk. I don't have a bunch of other headaches. I don't have to worry about tenants and termites and toilets and turnover. Not a bad day. Okay. So those are some things that really matter to me. All right. So here's an example of a house that we're going to walk you through. Here, this house, the value of the property, the value of the house, $350,000. Typical Midwestern good area home. Okay. The investment dollars into a note, we can buy that first mortgage. We can buy that first position mortgage for $250,000. House is worth $350,000, but we bought the mortgage for $250,000 because we got it at a little bit of a discount. Okay. So do I have a cushion in the deal right now? Yes or yes? Do I have a cushion in the deal right now? Yes or yes? Is my cushion about $100,000? You better believe it. Why? Because I know that if I'm forced to foreclose, that house has a starting value of $350,000. It may go down in value. I may have taxes. I may have some repairs. I may have some code enforcement issues, and I may have it beat down to $290 by the time in value when I sell it. But if it goes to auction and somebody bids $290,000 for it, do I get my $250,000 first mortgage paid back to me? Absolutely. Or maybe I credit bid my $250,000 and I get the house. I get the house worth $290,000 that can be spruced back up to be worth $350,000. So either way, I'm good. This cushion lowers my risk. This cushion lowers my risk. Now, is this dead equity to me? No, it's not dead equity because I don't own the house. I own the mortgage. I own the note. I'm the guy getting paid every month because if they don't pay, then they'll lose the house. So it's not dead equity, but it's a cushion for me. That's important. And this is the first question, and this is the big question everybody always asks me. What happens if they stop paying? What happens if the person who's in the house making the payments suddenly stops paying? Fantastic. I'm so glad we're finally going to get to answer this question because this is really important to address. The loan servicer, the licensed, insured, trained loan servicer handles the collections under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, not you. You don't need to become a collections expert. You don't need to learn all the ins and outs of what time of day you can call and how often you can call, what you can say, what you can't say. Nope. The loan servicer does that. And remember, I got my $100,000 cushion protecting me. So I've got 3 outcomes. And folks, I've seen these outcomes over and over and over and over again. And it's one of 3 outcomes. They either catch back up, we work something out and they modify, or I have to go take the house back through foreclosure. It's one of those 3 things. They either catch back up, great, Wonderful. Got all caught up. Great. Modify. Okay, well, it's something I can agree to if it's a fair modification for everybody. We can get them back on track through a modification. Okay, I'm getting my money. We're good. Or I can take back the house. I can start having to use that cushion. So I'm good with any one of those three things. I'm good with any one of those three things. You're gonna say, well, Jeff, I've heard foreclosures can take a long time. Sometimes they can. That's why you're going to get smarter about this, and that's why we're going to do modifications. That's why we might do cash for keys. That's why we do a really good job underwriting our buyers before we let them into our houses. That's why we do a really good job doing due diligence on these so that we don't get professional deadbeat occupants on these things. But this is why banks have been doing this for 200 years, because they consistently make money. So I've got a question for you. I just got a question for you. Who owns, who uses, who has their name on the biggest, most expensive buildings in downtown in the city where you live? Who is it? It's a bank or an insurance company, and that's not by accident. Okay. So you're going to say to me, well, Jeff, I hear this, but how would I get a note for $250,000 that's in first position on a house that's worth $350,000? Who would do that? Why would that happen? How could I get that? Well, someone had the house for $350,000 and they sold it and they took back the note with a mortgage and they did it the right way because they learned how to do it through note school. But now they've got a need for more capital for the next deal. So they want to sell the note because they don't have unlimited money. They're not the federal government. They're not like a huge bank. They don't have the ability to go tap the Federal Reserve's window. So they need some money. So I'm going to provide liquidity. I'm going to show up. I'm going to give them $250,000 for that note secured by that $350,000 home, and I'm going to start getting predictable income. Is there a need for this in the marketplace? You better believe it. Is there a huge need for this in the marketplace? You better believe it. Is there a huge situation right now where we have people who want to buy houses but can't qualify for them? Absolutely. And that's something we need to really address. That is something that we have to talk about. We're going to talk about it. But I want to talk about this. I don't know how many of you own a lot of rental properties. Right now, I got more doors than I want to talk about. Okay. I would rather have every one of my doors turn into a note. I could much rather handle 180 notes than 180 doors. Okay. We could much rather handle it. But I'm going to tell you the experience that we've seen through Note School is that it takes about the same amount of brain power, same amount of time, energy, and effort to manage 55 rentals or 1,000 notes. Which do you think you're going to get more cash flow on? 55 rentals or 1,000 notes? Which do you think you're going to make more money on? And somebody's going to say to me, well, Jeff, if I have rentals, I'll get the appreciation. Yeah. We had a lot of appreciation, but then now we haven't had any. And so I'm going to submit to you that for the rest of this decade, we're not going to see much of any appreciation because we're trying to catch our breath for what happened in 2020, 21, and 22. And then we had the rug pulled out from our houses with the interest rate hikes in 23. And so now we're kind of catching our breath again. And I don't see a lot of appreciation going on. In fact, I see some house values have gone way down. I see a lot of sellers conceding. I see a lot of things happening where values are not what people paid for them, in 22 or in 21. And here we are just 4 short years later. And the houses aren't what people paid for them because we had so much appreciation so fast, it takes time to work it out. But I can tell you this, on a note deal, I know that for the next 7 years or so, most of the payment I get is going to be interest. My principal value in the note doesn't really go down that much. So that's something to really think about. That's some real power in the note. Oh, by the way, if I have a good deal to where they're paying me on a $250,000 note on a house that's worth $350, do you think they're going to want to keep the house? Yeah. Do you think that owner's going to want to keep their $100,000 in equity? Yes. What if that house value goes down to $300,000? Are they still going to be wanting to stay there? Yes. Are they going to want to go through the disruption of moving? No. Is my cushion got cut in half? Yes. But do I still have a cushion? Yes. Okay, so let's just talk through this stuff. We've got to look at the huge opportunity that every real estate investor has in front of them right now. Okay, as of October of 2025, the Mortgage Credit Availability Index on a month-by-month basis said that it's at a scale of 103.9. You're going to say, well, Jeff, what does that mean? Well, that means one thing, but let's go look to see where it was in 2019. In November of 2019, it was over 185. It was over 185. So if you look at the right-hand side of the screen where you see the box and the blue arrows that say buyers left behind, that's the group of people that I'm targeting as I'm putting my rental properties back out on the market with seller financing. I'm targeting those buyers. And these are the people that don't need a home that looks HGTV quality. These are people that are handymen. These are people that are contractors. These are people that have got good jobs. These are people that have their own businesses. These are people that pay their bills. These are people that aren't bankable yet for whatever reason because they don't have 3 to 5 years of business tax returns, but their business is doing great. These are the people. These are the people that I am targeting. These are the people that get up, go to work 5, 6 days a week, drive their pickup truck, go to work, come back home, get the job done, and so on. Those are the people I'm targeting right here. These are the buyers that got left behind, and those are the people that I want in my seller finance deals. Is there a big opportunity? Well, let's see. Let's take from 190 down to 104. We'll round up from 103.9 to 104. Is there a big group there? Yeah. It's like almost half the people today can't get a mortgage that could back in 2019. 7 years ago, twice as many people could get a mortgage as today. So real people, real predictable income. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. My friend Ann. Ann is a friend of mine. She's not a client. She went from transactional income to wealth building. Beforehand, Ann was commission-based income. She was a real estate agent. She managed rental properties to try and smooth out her cash flow. But she noticed rising property costs consistently were getting to her. Rising property costs were consistently getting to her, and it required active management. She had to be there. She had to be the person answering the phone, telling people what to do, solving problems. That was before. Then we introduced Ann to Notes. Ann came to Note School and she discovered monthly passive income that was predictable monthly passive income. She became a note portfolio owner. She repositioned some of her capital from houses into notes. And she's protected from market swings and volatility, and the house is going up and down in value, and she gets consistent value on her notes. And she's now building a legacy. And this is the part that really is important. And I got to share this. I have 5 adult children. And about 7 years ago, my kids sat me down and they kind of said, Dad, we need to talk about some stuff. I'm like, okay. And they go, Dad, that mobile home park you got a piece of, we're not interested. Dad, that apartment building that you've got, not interested. Dad, those houses in Cleveland, Ohio, nope, 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 nope. Dad, the houses in the hometown where we live, nope, not interested. Dad, these checks that show up every month in the mail, we like these. More of these, Dad. This is what we want to inherit from you, Dad. When and if you ever pass away, this is what we want to inherit. We want to inherit checks that show up every month. We don't want to have to worry about tenants. We don't have to worry about toilets. We don't have to worry about turnover. We don't have to worry about a bunch of other stuff. Dad, we just want checks that show up on a monthly basis. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I mean, and they flat out looked at me and said, Dad, teach us to do what you're learning to do. And so I have been. Okay. Now here's JP Pacheco. JP, and folks, this is JP. He's excited. We took him exactly what he said. So there's a little bit of a grammatical issue there, but he says, I was super excited to hear it. To me, it was just a relief of getting to understand that I can still provide this quality product to people who want to move their lives forward with a property put in their hands. He's talking about seller financing to people who can't afford the HGTV home, but can afford a home that is safe and habitable. Let them maintain it. Let them take care of it, how they see fit, how they want to. And there's still opportunity for this cash flow for the house, but every month, JP gets paid principal and interest on every one of these homes that he does. Monica's a friend. Monica's a client. Monica retired early out of the telecommunications space. She wanted consistent monthly income. She lives anywhere she wants to. Monica loves to hang out in West Texas because she's got family there. But Monica likes to travel. Monica likes to go places. and she likes to help others succeed. Monica has become very successful as a note investor, and she's also become very successful in helping other people as a note investor. And so when you take action on what I'm going to show you today, you'll get a chance to meet Monica, you get a chance to talk to her, you'll get a chance to see what she's doing and how she can help you move forward. So I got to ask this question. Do you want predictable monthly income? I think we all agree we do. I want more of it. I have some, I want more, okay? We all want a certain amount. And so I got to ask you, have you figured out how much you want? I hope so. So let's just start this, because you're going to say, well, Jeff, how much I want, I don't know if I can do it. Let me calm that fear. Let me calm that fear, okay? You can buy a lot of notes for less than $75,000. In fact, you can get some notes today under contract for less than $30,000. In fact, I made an offer last week on a note. I think I offered like $23,000 for it. Didn't get it, but I made the offer because I thought I could get the house for $23,000. Some notes for as little as $15,000. Smallest note deal I ever did, $300. Smallest note deal I ever did, $300. Folks, if you can't find $300 to go do a $300 note deal, you're in the wrong call. You're on the wrong group meeting. You're just not right here. So we can all start small and stack up. So I took that $300, I turned it into 3,000. Then I took that 3,000 and I put it into another deal, and I have now grown it to where it's well in excess of $120,000 because I started small and I stacked up. Little note deal, another note deal, another note deal. Started small and stacking up. That was the key. So let's just talk about this. You can buy performing notes for immediate monthly cash flow. Some of you are in that point where you're like, Jeff, I'm tired of chasing tenants. I'm tired of dealing with turnover. I'm tired of dealing with contractors. I'm tired of the taxes. I want the cash flow. I don't want the headache. Some of you are like, well, Jeff, I don't have a whole lot of money, but I'm a smart business person, so I'm going to buy a performing note. I'm going to sell part of the note to get back most, if not all, of my money I put into the deal, and I'm going to keep part of the note for future payments. That's called keeping a partial. Smartest person on the planet doing that is a lady by the name of Martha Speed. She happens to be married to my friend and client Eddie Speed. Martha's smarter than anybody else I know on that business maneuver. And then some people, they love the hunt of the chase. They love the art of the deal. They love taking and making something great out of a problem because they know that the bigger the problem they solve, the more they get paid. So they like to buy a non-performing loan, what we call an NPL, a non-performing loan, which means the borrower is not paying. And they either get it to start to performing because they negotiate with the borrower, they do a modification, they work through the servicer, they work things out, or they move to foreclosure. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen it happen over and over and over again. Once that borrower realizes you're serious about foreclosing, they'll talk about modification, and they'll talk about modification really well. In fact, there was a note deal in my hometown that had been in foreclosure, got modified, and I was looking at buying it, and somebody by the name of Monica, who I was telling you about, swooped in and bought it before I could get it. Yeah, that's okay. It was an NPL. It got reperforming, and Monica wanted it. And she's kept it performing, and she got a great deal on it. So here's what's going to go on. You're learning it right now, you're seeing it, and now you get to pick a path. You get to say, hey, listen, this is something I want to know more about. This is something that I want to take advantage of. This is something that is a fit for me. Great, we're going to keep going forward because I'm going to offer you cash flow mastery, a real estate alternative, why being the bank beats being the landlord or the flipper. It's really that simple. So we can got two choices right now. You can go, hey, listen, Jeff, this note stuff is interesting, but I'm going to do it all on my own. Okay, that's plan A. You're going to keep guessing. Godspeed, wish you well. Some of you are like, okay, Jeff, I get it. Notes make sense. Having the tool in my tool belt really makes sense, but I need to know how to use the tool because it's a powerful tool. I need to be able to get a hold of the owner's manual and figure out how to do this. So yes, I want to learn the system. Great. Hang with me because I'm going to show you how you can begin to learn the system. Because remember, what we're talking about is how one note can change everything. We're talking about how predictable monthly income gives you and me freedom. Predictable monthly income gives you and me freedom. And I can start small and stack up. I can start small and stack up. Or I'll phrase it this way. It's going to be bad grammar, but I'm going to do it this way. I can start poquito and stack up. Okay. All right. So if predictable income would change your life, then raise your hand. And more importantly, take action on this link right down here. This link right down here, it's going to get put in the chat. Alexa's going to put it in the chat. Get that, click on it, and go take some action on it. Now you're going to say, okay, Jeff, if I do that, what do I see? What do I get? Well, okay, let's cover that. Okay. So we're going to give you to where you're going to get some training on a risk mitigation framework so that we're going to teach you to make sure that if you're doing a note deal, that you're ensuring that there's significant equity in the deal. And we're going to teach you how to implement professional servicing systems where you can have a trained professional handle every aspect of helping you do these note deals. Have everybody help you, whether it's from the closing process, the servicing process, the foreclosure process, whatever it is. You can have a professional that's through this note school network help you with servicing that. Okay. And then it lets you have multiple exit strategies with a note that you buy the right way. You have multiple exit strategies. Let me go over those exit strategies really quickly. You can buy the note and hold it for cash flow. You can buy the note and sell part of it and get most of your investment money back and keep later payments for yourself now. Or you can keep some of the payments now and give away some of the payments. You can split the payments a couple of different ways. So you've got different choices. Okay. So we're going to walk you through a 90-day implementation system. There's the 3-phase execution framework that we just went over, and there's complete support structure through this process. And there's clear success milestones. You're not left wondering, are you succeeding? You're not left wondering, what's the next thing to do? You're not left curious about, am I doing this right? What do I need? No, there's clear success milestones with everything that Note School does. Everything that Note School does. Being a Note School student can almost become a full-time job with all of the learning and all of the information and everything that's available. So let's go through this. Let's talk about phase 1 is the foundation. First 30 days, we're going to walk you through your foundation. Phase 2, we're going to start you doing some implementation. We're going to start taking action on things. That's day 31 through 60. And then we're going to start scaling this thing. You're going to start doing some of the same things over and over again. You're going to have some repeated successes. Okay. That's the strategic success pathway. So we have support touch points throughout. You're going to be able to work with great people in the program, people like Brenda, people like Monica, people like Susan, people like Joe, and so on, people like Charles. All of these are people that they're very knowledgeable about what they do. Okay. So the whole idea here is established consistent monthly income. We can reduce your time to get there. We can teach you the right way how through the system of Note School investing to be able to get there instead of through the process of trial and error. And this creates true scalability, so that you don't learn as you go. You repeat the successes that you've been taught. Instead of stumble and bumble, you can go a whole lot faster. All right. So we have a clear value summary. We're trying to give you a 3x rate of return. You can keep being that landlord on that house. You can put $250,000 into a house. You can collect a payment. You can get $900 a month net. From that, you'll make your mortgage payment and something left over for you. That's great. Or you can go become the bank on that same deal and make 3 times the amount of money. And we show you how to protect yourself by building in the cushion, by doing the right things, by working with professionals in every step of the process, the note acquisition, the closings, everything else, servicing. Then we have the implementation framework and then strategic next steps. It's all here. It's all here for you to take advantage of. So let's just keep moving forward. So here's the strategic opportunity. The current market conditions are telling us that life's not easy for landlords right now. Life is not easy for landlords. Taxes and insurance are going to hurt us. They're going to continue to hurt us. This implementation window is probably for the next 5 years. I see this window of opportunity for the next 5 years where there's not going to be much appreciation, but interest income is going to be the way to go, and people are going to be incentivized to be able to buy homes. And so I want to make my homes available, and I want to reduce my day-to-day stress, and I want to keep my cash flow, and I want to increase my cash flow. So I'm taking advantage of what the market gives me. Now listen, folks, I can tell you right now, you can be Johnny Hero and you can swim against the rip current. You can swim against that riptide if you want, but it's going to be hard. But if you go with it or go laterally, it's a whole lot easier. It's a whole lot easier. I mean, you can go up against the rapids, you can go up against that rip current, but it's a whole lot easier. It's not nearly exhausting. It's not nearly threatening if you work with it. Go sideways or go on the eddies, okay? And that's where we're looking to teach you the strategic entry points. All right. So here's your time freedom calculator, the current time investment, note management efficiency, time recovery analysis. We cover all of these things inside of Note School. You're taught all of these different tactics, and then we talk about your freedom implementation plan. It's all in here. So we take about all this through. Your next step to achieve these things is by taking action with clicking on this particular link, and registering for the Rich Rewards and Notes Bootcamp. Now, here's the great thing about it. Let me talk to you about this class, the 90-day action plan. It's a 2-day live virtual event. So you don't have to get on an airplane and go to Dallas, Texas. You can do it from your own home. You can do it from your own office with hands-on assistance. It's a live virtual event with hands-on assistance. We walk you through the step-by-step process. Hundreds and thousands of people have been through this same process where we're turning note opportunities into deals today. Just because it's a note doesn't mean it's an opportunity, and it's not a deal just because it's a note. We've got to show you how to do it. So there's the link one more time. All right. The regular price for this is $12.47, but we're going to do it for you for $6.97. And this offer is good now through Friday evening. I'm going to leave it to Alexa and Anish to decide, is it going to cut off at 7 p.m., 9 p.m., midnight? It's up to them to decide, but it's good through Friday. We're on Wednesday, so you've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to pull the trigger on this and make that decision. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to think about it, you're probably not going to do it. If you're going to talk to your spouse about it, that's great. I respect it. But then you need to get it done right away. Don't wait until Friday. Don't try and email and say, hey, Alexa, can you ask Jeff? It's Saturday morning. Can you ask Jeff if we can still do this? Take action on it now. And I'm going to tell you why you need to take action on it now. Some of you are like, some of you are like, Jeff, I don't want to do the code. Then here's the QR code. QR code gets you the same result, okay? QR code gets you the same result, trying to make this as easy as possible. And I want you to understand that here's the dates that are coming up. Here's the next live virtual events. These are live virtual events, March 26th and 27th, and April 30th and May 1st. And there's more days coming after that. This will be the 3rd class this year. This will be the 4th class this year. You kind of catch a theme. There's a class a month. Okay. So you can attend. By the way, each one is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, we're going to have to say Central Daylight Savings Time starting this weekend, but from 9 to 5 Central Time, okay? From 9 to 5 Central Time. Now, I want you to understand, we're going to teach you how to analyze rentals, whether you should keep that as a rental, whether you should sell or finance it, what you should do with it, what vendors can do for you, what various professional vendors can do to make it easier for you. And then we're going to show you how you can get funding for some of your note deals. That's right, get funding for some of your note deals. Then one of the bonuses is there's a case study or two that my good friend Eddie Speed and I go through. That's me, younger version of me. We did this case study. Okay. Another one is an expert interview with a very, very smart CPA. I've heard this man speak, and this man knows his numbers when it comes to taxes for real estate investors and strategies to lower those taxes. Brilliant man. And then there's one more. We're going to map out your personal action plan. We're going to implement it with your team and execute a blueprint for success. Now you're going to say to me, Jeff, this all sounds great, but what about the guarantee? Here is the money back guarantee. It's really simple, okay? You can register for the 2-day live event. You can get the hands-on assistance, the step-by-step process. You get the 3 bonuses, all for $6.97, and there's a money back guarantee. Let me explain what that guarantee is. It's really simple. You can attend for only $6.97 with 0 risk, because if at the end of day 1, you don't like it, if at the end of day 1, you don't think you got anything out of it, if at the end of day 1, it's not for you, we'll give you all your money back. You didn't have to get a hotel. You didn't have to get on an airplane. You didn't have to deal with the cars. You didn't have to deal with TSA. You didn't have to pack luggage. You showed up virtually. You participated. And at the end of day 1, if it didn't fit for you, we'll give you all your money back. But I'm going to tell you, if you participate, if you show up, if you do all that, You'll love it. It will be one of those moments that you'll remember for a long time. Like I remember my moment sitting there and listening to Eddie Speed talk about this, and I realized that I'd been beating my head against a concrete wall, and there was a better, easier way to make more money. So you're going to say, well, Jeff, let me think about it. I'm going to just kind of see what the market does, kind of sit around. Okay, go park your capital in a money market fund, make 3-4% on it, or a note deal where you're making 11%. You do it for 100 grand, you're going to lose 8 grand in a year. You put $250,000 that way, you're going to lose about $20,000 in lost income. $500,000, for some of you, you've got that to work with. You go put it in a money market fund versus put it into a note deal, you're going to cost you about $40,000 in lost opportunity. That's what it'll cost to wait. That's what it's going to cost to wait. So don't do that. Also, you got two choices. You can keep on with the chaotic, unpredictable income, or you can learn predictable income and learn how to become the bank. And I can tell you right now, predictable income is the way to go. So sign up now, take advantage. $697 with the 100% money back guarantee through the end of day one of that virtual class. You didn't like it. It didn't work for you. Something about it is just not gelling with your system, with your spirit. Okay, cool. We got it. But keep the bonuses. Keep the bonuses. Okay, keep the bonuses. All right, so we got two choices. You can stay the same, or we can move towards predictable income. I want everybody, by now, you should have decided that predictable income is the way to go. By now, you've recognized that you're like me. You got into real estate, not because you wanted to work harder, you wanted to work smarter. You got into real estate because you wanted predictable, consistent monthly income. That's what we're here offering. That's what we're here to teach you. So remember these things. One note can change everything. One note can change everything. Predictable income gives me freedom. Predictable income gives me freedom. And the one I love the most is I can start small and stack up, because I know that for a fact, because I've done that. That's how I'm building my predictable income that is giving me more and more and more freedom. So I'm just going to say this, take action. You can't raise your hand per se, or you could do it in the chat or something like that. But that predictable income would change your life. Let's get after it. Okay, these are the dates. Reminding you of the dates, because some of you are like, okay, I'm still thinking about it and so on. Get to pick one of these two dates, and if those dates don't work for you, if you're booked on both of these things, travel plans, spring break, kids, Easter, if all that interferes with the way, great, more dates are coming. There'll be more dates in May, June, July, and August, and so on. All right, so you can take action on it. You can attend live virtually. It means you don't have to deal with TSA. You don't have to buy a plane ticket. You don't have to do hotel. Classes are from 9 to 5. Live with hands-on assistance, 9 to 5 Central Time. So let's take action. Let's secure your seat. Let's get you to the path of predictable, consistent monthly income. Let's get you down the path to predictable, consistent monthly income. Let's get you off the chaotic roller coaster ride that is a lot of other things in real estate. And with that being said, peace. Jeff Watson will take a couple of questions that are specific to this presentation. All right. And Alexa, if you could help me out with what those questions are, I would really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So last call on questions for Jeff. This is going to be for the 2-day boot camp for $697, all about no's. And again, you don't have to go anywhere. Link is in the chat for you guys. Link is also on the screen. I will be sending you all the link in a follow-up email that I will send to each and every one of you as soon as we hop off this webinar. But now is your chance to ask those questions regarding the offer, regarding anything that you saw on the slides tonight. And just know that this offer will be valid until Friday. And I will, and please send this replay. Watch the replay. If you have any confusion, questions, anything, watch the replay. I'll go ahead and pop that link in the chat one more time. It's youtube.com/BPM Super easy. Get subscribed. We will have the replay posted within 24 hours. So you guys can go ahead and review that ASAP. And I'm not seeing any questions. So you guys must be super crystal clear on every single thing Jeff discussed tonight, or you're just going ahead and purchasing that offer which I highly, highly recommend, as Note School is a big deal. And you guys will check that out. I'll send you all the links and everything, the starter link that Jeff provided as well. So if you're still confused, you can get connected with Note School and
Yep.
that you can work with Jeff and the team.
Yeah, at every significant Note School event that occurs, I am there speaking, teaching, answering questions, and working with the team on getting the best note training education out there and getting deals done to where people are changing their life with predictable monthly income.
Hey Jeff, I actually got someone actually sent me a private message. They're asking I know you were talking about the 250. What's the minimum note? I know you were talking about first position that you've seen, or let's say I have a little, some money. Maybe I have something
Okay.
that's self-directed, or what from your experience.
From my experience,
Yeah.
I will tell you from my personal hands-on experience, I have seen or done note purchases for less than $20,000 to well over $1 million.
Wow.
So if you can buy a note for $20,000 or so, you got a chance to get control of a house and go from there. Okay.
Yep.
Now, some people, $20,000 is all they want to put in a deal. That's great. Go for it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be getting the Taj Mahal, but you're going to get a deal. You're going to get someone that's going to take some work, regarding work the modification, go from there and so on. But one client of mine changed his life with one note deal that he managed to pull down for $1.167 million. $1,167,000. He bought a note that had a face value of $5.5 million, and it
Wow.
changed his life.
Wow.
And I walked him through every step of that transaction. And life changing, because he turned that $1,167,000 and got control of that property and is now a $25 million property.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, the
Yeah.
reason, and are you just also, I know you're talking about non-performing versus
Yeah.
performing. What, yeah, and again, what are you seeing on discounts in general? Like if I know everything's different, but like if
Yeah.
there's a rule of thumb that you would say that you've seen, I'm not going to hold you to the
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. It really, there's so many variables in
Yeah.
every deal. It has to do with the pay history, the collateral, the location, what state is it in,
Yeah.
how long have they been paying? How long have they not been paying? How long was the loan done? When was the loan done? Who did the loan? How well was it underwritten? All of those things are variables that
Yeah.
go into pricing a note. And those are all things that Note School teaches you to go through and look at in determining, do you want to buy this note or not? One of the most powerful concepts that we teach at Note School, and this is one I love, is where we show people how with a few $1,000s in a self-directed IRA, say they're in their mid 40s.
Yeah.
Okay. Say they're in their mid 40s and they go buy a good note that's got another 25 years to pay out. They go buy a good note in the side of their self-directed IRA, but they don't have the money. So they agree to sell the first 15 years of that note. So they keep the back 10 years, they sell the first 15 years, and they have maybe $1,000 or $500 all total into the deal at the end of the day because they got $5,000, $6,000 in their IRA. So they go do a few of these. And yeah, they got to wait 15 years to start the payments rolling in, but they're 40 years old. They can't start enjoying the money till they're
Yeah.
59 and a half anyhow. And so they've got all these payments that are going to show up in exchange for $500.
Yeah. I
Those
hope
are
you
my
guys,
favorite deals.
yeah, I hope you guys heard what he just said. Like you and God forbid you actually love your kids and you have an IRA or they're in college and imagine them, right? For 500 or a
Yeah.
thousand. My
I
point is,
know a,
yeah,
I know a certain grandmother. I know a certain grandmother
yeah,
that is making sure that each one of her grandchildren in their Coverdale Education Savings Account has a nice little portfolio of these partials. They're going to start
wow.
kicking in when private school tuition starts hitting at about age 14.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, Some of you guys know have seen Carl Fisher at our events.
Oh,
And can you imagine if I'm correct, you could actually buy some of these notes with their HSA account, right?
yep,
Tax, like not to be
yep,
now you got me extra nerdy on this. So
yeah,
imagine using your health savings account, getting the tax break up front, the deduction. You keep doing this, and now it's income forever without you actually buying the property
yep,
and
yep.
payments. So
And these are the kind of things that I love having in my self-directed accounts, whether it's
yep,
my HSA, my granddaughter's CISA account, or my IRA or my 401k. I love having payment streams
yep.
in those accounts because I just like to have the paper. And Carl called me last week to talk about a couple of things, and I was, it was like, hey, any chance you're going to be down here live? Like, yeah,
Carl's
yeah,
always trying to take my, no, I'm kidding. We do a lot of stuff. We love Carl Fisher, obviously.
yeah, yeah,
And what my point is, what I think is really special is that, I've been fortunate enough to know Jeff, I want to say about 12 years, give or take, around there. And the difference of being an attorney, you're an attorney that actually invests, that's in practice, real
hmm,
life situations. You're an expert that people pay you a lot of money to fix problems because they do things wrong. So, number one is not only is Jeff an educator, he teaches you how to stay above board.
yep,
You don't want
yep,
anyone on, you don't want to be looking over your shoulder. What the heck's going on? And one massive mistake, and you could lose everything besides, you know, some other charges you might get, right?
yeah,
So there's a lot of things going out there, and one of the cool things that Jeff's literally doing this offer is like half price. It's because you guys know I know how to negotiate, and Jeff loves our RIA, and I gave him some Indian gilts to lower the price on it. And so like the funny part is this 2 day boot camp for it's virtual. I don't know how you don't want to do it. What that tells me that you don't want future payment streams and whatever you're doing. I know Jeff asked the questions. Are you hustling? Are you doing this? This is an and, not an or, right? Meaning this is an additional strategy on money that might just be sitting somewhere and to be able to get those payment streams forever. And I always tell people the same thing is if you're not interested in generational wealth, that tells me you don't like your family. And that tells me that Alexa and I will gladly take those payment streams. You could leave those beneficiaries to us. We have no problem taking care of that. And the other funny part is we've been trying to have Jeff come even virtually on board for a while. So that's why it's super important. And you guys know if I'm showing up at night to listen in on this, it's there's a reason.
yeah, yeah. And I wasn't speaking. I spoke very little last year. I mean, I had for some personal reasons, I had to take a lot of time off last year, and I'm going to tell you, Marriott and Southwest Airlines were like, dude, where are you? What's going on?
Their
You know,
stocks are down.
and Chick-fil-A was like, man, you keep going at the same spot all the time. Um, but I'm getting back out there, and because we got some of these other things sorted out, but it's
Yeah,
good. And I'm just gonna flat out tell you, folks, listen, I got into real estate because I knew swapping hours for dollar wasn't working,
yeah.
and I thought rental property was the way to go. And I put a lot of money into rental property and I got good at managing it. And I got really good at managing it and I built some good wealth in it. Okay. Then I had some things happen that I didn't want to have happen that I lost half my portfolio. Um, but the point is, I've learned how to rebuild it faster and smarter because of notes and what I've learned through note school and working with Eddie Speed. I've learned how to rebuild it faster and smarter. And I'm doing it again. I'm looking at every door that I own and do I keep
Mhm.
it? Do I sell it? If I sell it, do I sell or finance it? And a
Mm,
lot of the stuff I'm deciding to either sell it on seller financing or keep it. That's
mm.
most of what I'm doing because I'm looking for one thing, peace and freedom.
Yep.
Peace and freedom. Now, if you're into real estate because you love chaos, okay, that's you. That ain't me. That ain't me.
Yeah, yeah. Keep your drama to yourself if you are.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
don't hit Alexa, myself, or Jeff. Like keep your chaos to yourself and
Yeah.
drama.
I want peace and freedom. And I'm serious. When I use the word manana, I mean the mindset of if I don't want to do it today, I'm not doing it today.
Yeah.
You know, because I just don't I want to have that peace and freedom in my life of, hey, today's the day I'm going to go walk the beach. Hey,
Yeah.
today's the day I'm going to go watch the baseball game at the Trop. Hey, today's the day I'm going to go do whatever else. I'm not grinding today, you
Yeah.
know?
I love it. I love
Yeah.
to see it. It's cool to see. I forgot who uses this. They talk about seasons in life. I don't say older now. I'm starting to use seasons in life. It's cool to see your new season in life of where you were to where you're
Yeah.
at. Obviously, you're very successful, and it's cool just to see you just look a lot more relaxed.
Well, that could be a combination of things. We got a major deal across the finish line at 4 p.m. today.
Okay. All right.
So a big weight rolled off my shoulders. Um,
Okay.
and so yeah, we got a
Okay.
major deal. We got a major deal lined up. Everybody's on board. Now we know the numbers. It's just a matter of the timing. And so,
All
when
right.
you're trying to coordinate a dozen people on one transaction, it's a challenge. Yeah. So, but the other thing is living here is so much better for me than living up where it's gray and cloudy and cold and below
Yep.
freezing for months at a time. You know,
100%. That's why we love
but
Florida. I agree with
but
you.
but what lets me do this is the ability that I've built my life on the principle of peace and freedom.
Yeah.
I've built my life on the ability of peace and freedom, where if I want to work remotely, I'm working remotely. If I want to
Yeah.
do this, I'm doing this. If I want to go there, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And it's all because I've built in consistent, predictable monthly income.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I know we're out of time. I know, Alexa, somebody won something today. Someone
Yes.
got paid to with a membership today to be
Yes,
part of our
sir.
RIA.
Yes, sir. We got a winner. So, winner for the 1 year BPM RIA membership is Sue S. Congratulations,
All
Sue.
right. All right,
We'll
Sue.
be getting in touch with you so they get all the information for your member profile. So, look out for my email or text, and we'll get you that free membership. So, congratulations.
Awesome. And anyone that's watching the replay, you have until Friday evening.
Yes.
So go ahead and, take care of the offer. If Jeff rather you go to his website and pay double, he'd be happier. He'll be smiling at more.
I won't turn it
So,
down. I won't turn it down.
so you got two choices. You can pay double and help out Jeff Watson, the Bank of Jeff Watson, or I got your back and make sure you sign
Yeah.
up with us.
Yeah. Yeah. We got
Absolutely.
the guilt trip discount.
The guilt trip discount. Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my
Yeah.
All right.
gosh.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you, Jeff,
so much,
for
Jeff.
virtually hopping in. Again, it's always a pleasure to
Yep.
see
It's
you.
been enjoyable.
I know Jeff will be on the RIA monthly call on March 10th. I threw it in the chat. He'll be on for a few minutes to give some updates. And again, he is also the attorney for National RIA. His credentials, like I can only imagine what your business card looks like. Must be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like your bio could have took up 45 minutes on that, and it's always a
Um,
pleasure. And not only do like what's really important is Jeff is the go-to guy for National RIA.
Yeah.
And when we got questions, it's legal, we need help with any of that stuff. Jeff responds and makes sure, we say the right things, we're all covered. And you always want someone on your back, on your team, I should say, that's got your back. And that
Yeah.
makes a big difference. And so anything that Jeff puts his, name behind it, we're always all in. So,
yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. And so, folks, I'm just going to say this last thing, and then I'm going to be completely, totally out of soap. I gave you everything I could give you to show you what's out there. I can't teach you everything in one evening. In 2 days, my team can teach you a lot. So take us up on the offer for the 2 days. Click on the link. It's in the chat. It's there. Copy, paste, whatever you got to do. Click on it. There's a money back guarantee. You don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to deal with people. You don't have to deal with TSA. You don't have to pack luggage. You don't have to book a hotel room. You don't have to worry about a rental car. You don't have to worry about an Uber. You get to focus on it in an environment that you're in control of. This is the best way I know today to build consistent, predictable monthly income without having to work super, super hard. You're going to use your brain. We're going to educate you, but this
Yep,
is the way to go.
absolutely.
Amazing. Oh, you're awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much. What an honor. And you guys, you know what to do. Look out for my email. I'll be sending it to all of you as soon as we hop off the webinar tonight. Please give us 5 stars on Google so that we can let the National RIA know that Jeff still got it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, you guys. We just really appreciate your feedback, and we want everyone to be able to have access to this information. We don't want to hide it from anyone. So go ahead and give us that 5-star Google review. Links in the chat. Link to work with Jeff is in the chat, and I will send you guys all of the links in an email coming from me, Alexa at bpmreia.com. And I really appreciate all of the time from you and Anish. Thank you so much, Jeff. It was amazing. And we hope to see you again very soon. We'll see you on Zoom next week. Looking
Yes.
forward to that.
Yep.
So thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Anish. And we will see you guys on the next webinar.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Watson out.